What is up, guys? Fahir here from AwesomeTuts.com. Now that we have our bird, let us program the bird throwing this egg or this stone, however you want to call it. I do not care. So that stone or egg, it is located in sprites and then enemies and under E for egg because it's named egg. And here it is. Now, even though this is a single sprite, I am going to set the sprite mode to multiple and go into the sprite editor and slice it. So hit slice and apply that because we have this empty space right here to the right that we don't need. We're simply going to use this part of the egg, the one where the actual egg is. So now that we have sliced it, when you click on the drop down list for the egg, I can drag and drop it right here. So take it and put it in the scene like this. And I am going to rename it to egg, or actually bird egg. Like this. I am going to apply a circle collider to it, and I am going to apply rigid body to it. And resize the scale to 0.6 like this, and we are good to go. We do need to create a script for it, so if we go here into the scripts, and then enemy scripts, I'm going to right click, create a new C# script. This is going to be called bird, or actually egg script, like this. And attach it on the bird egg. I did this because we're going to save both of them now as prefab so that I don't need to go back into the prefabs folder, attach the script on the bird egg itself. Now I have already attached it. I'm going to open it here. We will code it in a second, but before that, let me just remove it from the hierarchy because we don't need it in the scene anymore. We're simply going to select the bird. We have already added it here. So bird egg, we see the empty field. We simply need to go in prefabs. So prefabs, enemy prefabs, select the bird, drag and drop the bird egg right there. For the player layer, click on the drop down list and select the player like this and hit apply so that these changes apply to the prefab. So going back in our script now, right here, right below change direction, we're going to create void drop the egg. And here we are going to test if we see the player. So if we raycast and we touch the player, we are going to drop that egg. So we're going to test if we did not attack. So attack like this. If we did not attack, notice the exclamation mark, which will make what's after the opposite. This variable right here, attacked, the Boolean variable, the default value, when we don't say it's equal to true, the default value is false. So typing bool attack is equal to false and leaving it like this, these two are the same because the default value of a Boolean variable is false, which means that this exclamation mark will make it the opposite, that is true. So if we did not attack, do the following, and that is check with physics. And we are going to raycast, and we're going to raycast from where? So raycast from our own position, so transform position, in the direction, vector 2 down, so downwards. What is the distance? We're going to use matf infinity. So the representation of positive infinity, this is an infinite line, so it does not have ending. It's an infinite line. It will be so large that we don't need to, for example, specify. If we specify here, for example, 10. But in our game, for example, we put the bird to be something like, I don't know, we put the bird to be here. And that 10 value does not reach the bottom. It will not touch the player. So that's the reason why I'm going to put here matf.infinity, which is an infinite line. And the layer mask is going to be the player layer, which means raycast a line from this position in this direction. This is the length of the line, which is infinite. And search for game objects that are on this layer. If we collide with them, we are going to do what? We are going to instantiate the bird egg at the transform position, or actually here we're going to use a new vector 3 like this. And for the x, we're going to say transform.position.x. For the y, we're going to say transform.position.y -1, just so that we lower the egg's transform or the eggs instantiation a little bit. And here we're going to say transform.position.z, comma, quaternion.identity. And we're gonna say here attacked is equal to true so that we don't attack anymore. And after that, we're simply gonna call our anim to play the bird fly animation because we have dropped our rock or the egg. We have dropped it and we are simply gonna play that animation. So if we go here in the bird or copy this bird egg or drop the egg function, paste it here in the update, and now we can test it out because we are raycasting. We can then instantiate the egg. If we go here, hit the play button, notice what's gonna happen. When the bird is right below, you see it dropped that egg. It was right below our player and it dropped that egg. Let me try to escape it. So here I'm gonna escape it and notice where the bird is going. As soon as the bird raycasts and hits, or that raycast hits where the player is, you see it simply drops that egg which falls down. Now in regards to the egg, we also need to code it. So if we go here into the egg script, we need to code, well, on collision enter. So if we go here, we're simply gonna say void on collision enter 2D, which takes a collision 2D. I'm gonna call it target. And if our target, so if target.gameObject.tag is equal to myTags.playerTag, we are gonna damage the player, so damage the player, and we are simply gonna deactivate our game object. And in order to deactivate our game object, simply call it here game object set active, and we're gonna say here false, like this. So no matter which collision occurs, we will deactivate our stone. If we go back now in our game and hit the run button, you will see that even though if the stone falls on the ground, you see it was deactivated. And even if it hits the player, let's go here and it hits the player, bam, it will be deactivated. But prior to his deactivation, it will damage the player, but we did not code that still, so don't worry about that. Now, going back to our bird script right here, we are also gonna create a function that's gonna destroy the bird or kill the bird. So IEnumerator, and we're gonna call it bird dead, which is when the bird dies. And here we're simply gonna say yield return new wait for seconds, like this. And we are gonna wait 3 seconds before we kill the bird. So we're gonna call game object set active false, which will make our game object not active. And in our void on trigger enter 2D, like this, which takes a collider 2D as a parameter, and I'm gonna call him target, as always. So in our on trigger enter, we are gonna do what? We're gonna test if our target dot tag is equal to myTags.bullet tag. So if we hit the bird with the bullet, we're gonna call our anim to play the bird dead animation. So bird dead animation like this. We are also gonna set the bird to be a trigger. We will see that in a second why. So we're gonna call here get component and we're gonna say box collider 2D like this. And we're gonna say is trigger is now equal to true. And we're gonna say my body dot body type is gonna be equal to rigid body. So it's gonna be rigid body type 2D dynamic. Can move is now false, and we are gonna start the coroutine, which is our bird dead coroutine. So bird dead like this. Let me just type it correctly. Finally, I made it. So why am I setting it to be a trigger? Well, because of this. Notice here, we are changing the body type of the bird to dynamic. Why? Well, because then gravity will be applied to the bird. Notice here, I need to lower the bird because we cannot shoot it if it's not lowered. You see the bird fell down, but notice where it is. It's just standing there like, like some, dead bird. And I don't want that. I want the bird to fall fall below the ground. I don't even want to see it. That's why I'm setting the trigger of the box collider of the bird to be kinematic, because now when I hit it, it fell down. You see that? That is the effect that I wanted to achieve. So because of that, we need to get the component box collider, set him to be trigger. So is trigger is true, which means he will fall down in collision with other triggers. He will not stand on those triggers. And I set this to dynamic because remember, our bird is currently set to kinematic, which means it is not affected by gravity. You see here, the bird is not affected by gravity. But if I change the body to dynamic, you see, bam, the bird is automatically affected by gravity. So when we hit the bird with the bullet, we are gonna play the dead animation. We will set it to be triggered so it can fall down below the ground. We will set the body type to be dynamic so that the gravity will apply to the bird. Can move is now false because we don't want the bird to be able to move while it is dead. It makes no sense whatsoever. And then simply we're gonna call start coroutine bird dead, which will wait 3 seconds and deactivate the bird. Fahir here from AwesomeTuts.com. I will see you guys in the next video.